I want to start off by welcoming everyone and thanking everyone for making this effort on Avi's behalf. He would be, without question, very excited to see what's happening here today. I also want to, so we've got a big UVM contingent. I want to acknowledge that not only do we have our UVM outing club, kayak club family together and people therein, but we also have multiple generations. So we've got Sam and Tyler and Rachel are here, and John Craig and other outing club folks who've graduated and are doing great things in their lives here as civilian Vermonters, but we're happy that they wanted to come be here with us today. And crew from Bolton Valley over here to the right. As many of you know, Avi spent this last winter instructing snowboarding, and as it turns out, as fate would have it, Jamie is a former outing club student and did a ski trip to Idaho with me a bunch of years ago, where she met her handsome husband Matt, that guy there. And so that's kind of a neat connection. I was able to catch up with them, and I know Avi's going to be missed by all the friends he met here too. And we'll look forward to having you on campus on Wednesday. And for all of you I'm meeting for the first time, if I do cry, I do this often, so I'll do the best I can. We've had it's been a tough week, folks. I've been characterizing it by feeling like I've been dragged through the keyhole. Yeah, people could turn phones off, that's probably a good idea too. Starting with me, because I'd be the guy to say that and have my phone go off, so let's take care of business here. And I guess the thing that I've been thinking about most since the sun has come back, I mean, I found the sun alone to be tremendously rejuvenating and energizing, and I think the lessons that Avi brought to us about perseverance and change and the importance of self-reflection is definitely apropos here at the change of seasons. You know, when things, all right, we gotta give this guy a hand on the way by. Enjoy your last turn. We should all hope that we're doing at that age. That's awesome. Yeah, I think Avi would have been excited. You can guarantee that, like you all, he would have been celebrating the arrival of some sunshine, some warm weather. Undoubtedly would have been paddling with his buddies, getting last turns in on his snowboard. So it's really fitting that we're here together. And I think if you know, in tough times like this, there's always a gift involved. And I think the gift that Avi's given, I know me, but I think the gift that Avi's given all of us this past week is a pretty significant reminder, not only of our mortality and our fallibility, but also community, which is super duper important. And again, I just super thankful to be able to do what I do with the people I get to do it with. You guys are all great, and Avi knew that. I want to tell you about a phone call that I had earlier today. As most of you know, Avi was, in the spirit of being Avi, really believed in giving back and continuing to give back. And again, for those of you who weren't with us 1 week ago tonight, Avi had a pretty life-changing experience as a younger person. He, as his parents told it to those of us who had a chance to meet with him last week, he was getting into trouble and getting into fights and hanging out with the wrong kids. I don't know if those kids really exist. Maybe not the right right kids for him at that moment in time, but probably great kids just like Avi who were trying to figure it all out. And his parents sent Avi to a camp in, I think it was New Hampshire. It was kind of a, sort of like a wilderness therapy kind of thing, or just kind of a place for rambunctious kids to figure out some discipline and some life lessons. And Avi learned a lot through that experience about the healing power of being in community. And being in the wilderness, which I know is all a big value to you all. And I guess today for me, I just wanted to take a moment to remind each other. I think one of the great things about all of what we do and the directions that all of our passions go is it's a reminder that we're all just limbs on a tree. It's all valid. It all brings us meaning. Whether it's climbing, whether it's skiing, whether it's snowboarding, hiking, just getting out, playing in the backcountry with your friends. It's all just a metaphor. We learn the value in all of it at the end of the day isn't the radical climbs that we do or the rapids that we paddle. It's the friendships that we make. And what we learn about ourselves and the world. And yeah, I know Avi believed that through and through. For those of you who are able to be at his memorial on Wednesday, John and Ryan and a couple other of Avi's friends put together absolutely amazing video of kind of primarily their trip on the Grand Canyon, which just tremendously illustrates Avi's love and enthusiasm and of course absolutely insane and inappropriate sense of humor. It's really going to be moving. I hadn't seen any photos or video, but it's just Avi at his best. The simplest way to say it. You're all going to be really excited. So anyway, back to my conversation. Got a little rooted there, but today I talked to a guy named Patrick, who's Patrick Giblin. He's a UVM graduate. Where's Sam and Johnny? I think he's friends with you guys, right? Patrick from Spectrum. Oh, yeah. I wanted to say that. Patrick, like a lot of you, have taken their time beyond UVM. Is doing really important work with at-risk teens and homeless kids living in Burlington. And Avi had done some outreach to do some outdoor programming with his students. And again, I said this last Monday, Avi is not the kind of person that needed an official title or a green light from some schmo like me to say, yeah, Avi, you can do that. He just started picking up the phone and calling people that he knew worked with kids and had this real sense that he needed to be doing something in the same way people had done great things for him. Patrick, as some of you know, there were some unforeseen hurdles that Avi ran into, a lot of which kind of revolve around social justice issues, which are things that are near and dear to us, things that we talk about and have dialogue about ongoing, and that is the students that he's working with are teenagers, not, chronologically not so far in age from him, or other outing club leaders like yourselves who Avi had recruited to work with, and Patrick had talked to the kids, and he's like, well, it's really hard to have UVM students, most of whom have had some privileges and opportunities to be able to get to where they are, having the opportunity to go to college, at least some socioeconomic advantage. And he wasn't really sure how the kids were going to respond to that. And at the same time, he didn't want to offend Avi, knowing that it came from a really genuine place. And what he simply said to me was that in his conversation with Avi, Avi got it. He understood, and I put you guys all of you who are here in the same category. You guys are here, you do the work that you do because you get it. You understand that there's importance in what we do, and you understand that it's not always accessible to everyone. So I just want to read some of the, so he sent me some of the dialogue that he had with Avi, and again, what's been probably most meaningful for me this week is either reading Avi being Avi or seeing Avi being Avi, which again is probably the best living reminder. So what Patrick had written to him was, Avi, another big part of this working is, I've yet to mention that some of our youth may feel a bit uncomfortable working with you guys due to proximity and age, and in some cases large differences in socioeconomic status. As much as this should have no bearing, some of the youth expressed this feeling to me after you guys came for the first time. Obviously you and I know this should have no bearing on this, but unfortunately it seems to have some meaning for our youth. And Avi wrote back to Patrick and he said, Patrick, I'm really glad you expressed this to me. I think it does have a lot of bearing and it's a super valuable point. I've seen this issue come up before in other times working with kids. From what I've seen, commitment is the best way to show someone that you actually care and are not just some college kid trying to do good to put it on their resume. Meaningful relationships take time, and I recognize that one semester of me being in and out may not be the best fit. I completely understand, and I don't want them to feel marginalized by that kind of dynamic. When I met with them, I tried to emphasize that we would like to learn from them too. I don't intend to be the quote-unquote mentor showing them all the right things to do. Rather, I'd be engaged in a learning experience from both sides. I really think the outdoors is a valuable experience for anyone, rich, poor, black, white, gay, straight, etc. I can see how I may have been a little insensitive to that on my side. I've spent most of this year trying to get this initiative moving, so it would be hard to give up. However, I understand where they're coming from, and I'm really glad you brought this up so it can be a talking point when I meet with them tomorrow. Thanks for helping me understand the situation better. So, getting back to the theme of getting it, I think it takes a pretty advanced person to A, understand that, and B, put the needs of the kids that he was hoping to work with appropriately in front of his own. And yeah, I mean, to me that just spoke volumes. I've got not really a poem, it's a passage that I was going to offer before we get on to the skiing part, but I want to, again, if anyone's had any reflection this week about Avi or anything they want to share, I want to create the space and opportunity for that to happen. Okay, so this is well, actually I've got two quotes. One is from a woman named Dolores LaChapelle, and for any of you ski, snowboard, snow riding people, highly recommend. It's probably been one of the books that's most informed my thinking about the ways that skiing and riding on wild snow give us meaning deeper than just beyond the fun and the big grins that we have when we're done doing it. It's called Deep Powder Snow. I'll send out an email and remind you all about this, but Dolores LaChapelle was a real ski pioneer. She and her husband Ed, who was one of the early innovators of avalanche education in Utah back in the 50s, moved up in the Little Cottonwood Canyon and spent like 30 years skiing Utah backcountry in the Wasatch. And She's also an academic and a scholar. She's a world-renowned eco-psychologist. And like Avi, she really got it. She got the connection between mind, body, and spirit, and how we connect those things through snow sports. Let's see if I can find this one. So it goes like this. Oh, I have slipped the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling murk of sun-split clouds. And I've done 100 things skiing that you've not dreamed of. I've wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, where never lark or even eagle flew. And while with silent lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face of God, whatever that may be to you. And for all of you who are water people, paddlers, canoers, and otherwise enjoy being on the water, this is a quote by a woman named China Galland from a book called Women in the Wilderness. She said, "We have so often linked heroism with warfare, battling, conquest, and victory, that a different notion of heroism, one that allows us to see nurturing and sustenance as heroic activities, is difficult to develop. Yet this is what must be done. We need to value actions in which one identifies with rather than opposes another being or way of being. The idea of battling and fighting is only one of the ways of dealing with fear, conflict, and difference. Often that which we reject and oppose is the very person or position that we need to include within our embrace." And I think Avi was very committed to that idea. "Acceptance is the art of making the obstacle the path. Therefore, embrace the enemy." This is where the water river part comes in. This is the lesson of the river guide. Face the danger, move toward it. That's where the current is strongest, and it will carry you around the obstacle. Use it. In Aikido, the Japanese martial art, our teacher would say, blend, never turn from your attackers, move right in next to them, see the world from their point of view. Identify with the enemy and then they're transformed. Opponents are lively, giving you energy. Accept the gift. These ideas are not passive, taken from Aikido, from Zen, from the river. They demand an alertness and ability to respond that are complete. Our first task is to become the leaders of our own lives and the heroes of our own stories. In fact, we already are. We only have to discover what that means.